Hey, what's up there, Findlay Force? Today we're going to do a quick walkthrough of our Hall of Fame hats. This wall is in our showroom and it's a collection of some of our all-time best-selling hats, some of our favorite hats, just good stuff all around. And we get a lot of questions about like explaining some of our old hats. Some of these are upwards of like 6 years old now, so I'm just going to go right into it and explain at least one row of the hats back here. Let me start it off right here. This is the, September 2018 hat of the month. First design with our chameleon design. This one took 2 weeks of production time, or of design time, just to get this chameleon the way we wanted it. It's the first hat we've made with the acrylic wood clip, or acrylic clip, that's sublimated on both sides with these scales. It also has the, the lizard scale pocket inside. This is one of my all-time favorite hat of the months that we've made, and we still use this design from time to time. It is a huge design as far as stitch count goes. It takes, I think it's like 18,000 stitches, so one of our heaviest stitch count hats that we have, but for that cool of a design, we gotta run with it. So yeah, September 2018 hat of the month. Right here we have, let's see, the August 2018 hat of the month, so right before it. I think this is one of our first Desert Series embroidery jobs we did. It's just got the nice clean, I forget what style rocks those are, mountains. Do you remember what that is, Mo?
You mean the red rock, right?
Yeah, we'll call it a red rock, sure. The with the river going down it, just a nice, clean, mountainous, deserty situation. And has the matching pocket inside as well. This is really early on when we started doing the custom sublimated pockets for the hat of the months.
I think that's my favorite.
This one?
No, the desert one.
The desert one?
Yeah.
It's a good guy. Okay, so this was another hat of the month. I don't remember what month it was. I can look it up after this and throw it down there, but this was from the Findlay 500, obviously inspired by the Findlay 500. This is the very first racing edition hat that we ever made. I think a lot of them came with black and white laces to symbolize the checkered flag. And yeah, the Indy 500. This was back from the garage days. Yeah, one of our older hat of the months. Also, I think the only hat of the month we've done with the red and gray bill. Ooh, this one is a classic and an early edition one. This is the Black Lockport, one of our all-time best-selling hats. Looks like one of the very first edition hats from our manufacturer. The seam tape inside is the It Stayed with the classic Findlay triangle. So this is a first generation hat with our seam tape base. It has one of our old style pockets, the screen printed one, not super old there. I want to say this is probably 2016, 17. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, it's a real simple, clean, good looking Black Lockport hat there. This was from last year's holiday Black Friday box. The Sonic Boom embroidery, that's navy with white. Simple, clean, 1 of 200 edition. It's got the white seam tape inside, as well as, this pocket's seen some better days, but the sublimated 1 of 200 pocket in there as well. So this one's cool. This one is the Blue Horn. I'm going off of memory on all these. I'm pretty happy about that.
Really
the Blue Horn. This one, sublimated mountainous bill situation with the alternative year 3 diamond triangle. This we sold on our website for a while, and then Zoomies picked it up as one of their hats as well. And then once Zoomies sold out of it, we ended up bringing it back. It's got the simple It Stayed seam tape inside, as well as the sample. A lot of these have the sample writing on the inside, so we know to not sell it because it's the sample. Our first mesh back hat. Can't remember the name. Comment below if you remember the name. Yeah, this is our first mesh back hat. We had to get this specially created for us with this additional fabric right here, so the grommet has something to stick to, because the mesh isn't ideal for grommets to attach to. So this is our first mesh back hat. Then it's got a nice navy with black mesh and the summit embroidery, which is actually the first, I think this is the first time we've used this design on anything, but the design we made after this is what we named this, the digitized, or this file, or this logo, the Summit logo, when really it was whatever this one was. Ooh, okay, so this is the Digger, dedicated to the people who are diggers at, up on like snowboard and ski mountains. They build the jumps, they build the rails, they carve everything out, and it's a very tedious task. And Oliver, who's our mad scientist in the laser and sublimation and all that zone, he, prior to working here, was a digger up at High Cascade. Either way, he and his crew are on, they were the diggers, they made the jumps, did all that stuff. And this is from our 2017, I think, winter line, where we wanted to have the whole line of hats modeled after different people that were like kind of standard at the mountains. So we had like the jerk skier was one of the hats, and the we'll get to it maybe at some point, maybe not. Either way, this hat's dedicated to the diggers, and the difference between a digger and a terrain park builder, I forget the other one. They listen to more metal music, so we wanted a metal music. This is a long, roundabout way of saying metal music. We got the metal design. Keeps it aggressive. The Java is, I think, our first all brown hat, and this is inspired after a cup of coffee. It's like looking down, and the Findlay logo is latte art. This is a sublimated applique embroidery situation, and I think it is one of the only hats we've ever done that has sublimation with embroidery over it. And yeah, it's just an overhead shot of a cup of coffee looking down. This was made by Alicia Rush. So this one is a hat of the month. I don't recall the month exactly, but it's an old guy back from the Findlay garage. The logo is inspired by the Tajima logo, which Tajima, for those of you who know embroidery, our embroidery machines are, well, two of them are Tajima. And we made this design to celebrate the fact that we got our new 4-head embroidery machine. It was like a major upgrade for our production. And the way we wanted to celebrate was by basically using their logo to inspire our own. We don't do a lot of inspiration logos like this, where it's like very similar to the company we're using, but this one was just too cool not to do on there, and we wanted to celebrate the new machine. Fun fact, not this one, but I have a version of this hat that's gray with black. And every time we have our embroidery technician Bob come in to help us with the machines, I try to wear this one. It's like embroidery related. Yeah, right, cool. Now you know. Oh, I forgot the name of this one. This is side note, a handful of these are, we only made 100 of these. Forgot to mention, but this is also the only hat we've done with a screen printed front design on there. We now have the same metal font, but it's embroidered, so this one is screen printed. But there's only 100 of these. I think those are the only ones that are one of 100 behind me. But this one is another one of 100, and it's an all over print that's actually been screen printed on the fabric, so it's not sublimated. It's got lots of little triangles, trees, eyes, waves, and it's got that nice red and navy lace on there. There's only 100 of them out there. They're few and far between. Ooh, and I know why I saved this one. Check the button up top has an eye perfectly on it.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So it's, yeah, pretty cool little, whoever assembled that piece of it was really paying attention to detail there. So yeah, I love this hat. It's just simple, clean, all over. It's got the white eyelets, red snap, just a good looking red hat. We don't do a lot of red, and we don't do very many all over screen printed situations. So that's a good one. There's another one from our, I want to say 2017 winter line. This was the sign coming up to Mount Findlay. So the whole line is based around so the whole line in 2017 winter line was the perfect day at the mountain, and that finished with hot chocolate or coffee, or started with coffee. And then when you're driving up to the mountain, you'd see like the welcome to Mount Findlay. So this was called the welcome to Mount Findlay, and this is supposed to be the sign that was like, you made it, you're at the mountain, hooray. Another design by Alicia Rush. I love the just little bit of detail on top of the snow-covered peaks. And then we got our Mount Findlay triangle there, or at least the most mountainous Mount Findlay triangle with the sun peeking behind it. Okay, so real quick, between those two winter lines, we had the one winter line that was a perfect day, and then the next winter line was all the cliche people at the mountain. So don't get those twisted. Okay, but speaking of the cliche people at the mountain, we wanted to do the person who snakes you. That's like you're about to drop in and someone cuts in front of you. So we made the snake series, and I think the mountain snake, this one right here, was the very first one we did. And it says snake or be snaked, and it's basically like the attitude that like if you're up there, you just gotta go for it, because if you don't, someone might snake your run or get, So, snake or be snaked, the very first edition mountain snake. Only 200 of these ones we made. And it's, yeah, gray with maroon brim. I think this is the only colorway we've done with this one, or we haven't done very many like this. It's got that nice red seam tape in there. And this one's, I know, super sought after by collectors, and I don't blame them because it is a good looking hat and there's not a lot of them out there. From that same series, we have this all yellow version. Remember the name of it?
Yellow belly?
I think the yellow belly was the all black one, right?
Something was Beware the Sleeping Snake, wasn't it? Or is that just what it says?
Yeah, this one is Do Not Wake the Sleeping Snake. So the yellow version, and then this one, the all black version, which I think was a Zoomies exclusive at one point, says Snake or Be Snaked as well. So here are the 3 of the Snake edition hats. We might do more in the future, but for now, we're keeping them on ice. Well, we're coming down to the last few hats here. But this is a good story. So here we go with the Cascade. This one is the classic Mount Findlay triangle stacked. So it's, what is that, 5 triangles, kind of 6 triangles turned into one of our triangles like that. The khaki lace and the screen printed brim. This one was one of our all-time best sellers when we launched it. And it did so well that Zoomies actually picked this one up. And it was in Zoomies for, I want to say, close to 2 years. And somewhere along that process, this hat made its way into Rue 21. And you can see some similarities there between the two. It's got, we didn't make this hat, by the way. This was completely not from us. And one of our customers pointed it out, and it was a big ordeal. But they also kind of ripped off Diamond Supply Co. with our logo and theirs together, so that's kind of an honor. Those guys are cool. And then you can see the similarities in the brim. They have a cool lace, not gonna lie, like it's a good looking lace, but you know, patent infringement, copyright infringement, all that stuff isn't cool. So not a fan of this one, but it's nice to have it on hand. I don't know if you can see behind me, but we have a few. They made 2 other ones. Luckily, I don't think they sold very well for Rue 21, and I don't think that anything really came from it, but it was a big ordeal. Luckily, yeah, could have been worse. Could have been a worse company that stole from us too. So either way, made thousands of the Cascade, and still love it. Real good hat. All right, so this is one of my personal favorites that we have back here, and I've worn this hat a lot. My roommate wore it for a while as well. This was inspired by the Yeezy, I want to say the Yeezy Boosts, and this is his dad actually won a raffle to win like that pair, to be able to buy that pair of shoes, and he bought them, and I feel like they flipped them pretty quick for like over $1,000, but this hat was meant to go along with it, and it was inspired by that. We got a one-of-one lace style on there that we haven't done on any other hat, and the process to make this one was actually really difficult. It doesn't look that crazy, but we had to do some special embroidery stuff to really get that background to look the way it does, because that's not typically how it's supposed to look. So yeah, I'm just particularly happy with how that one turned out. And last but not least, I'm gonna go over some of the very, very original prototype Findlay hats right here. I've worn these bad boys a lot over the years. This one was my like exclusive paintball hat. I wore it every single time I played paintball. There's lots of cool photos of me wearing this hat while playing paintball. It's faded, it's been through the wash 1,000 times. It's an old PD Rack clothing. My buddy Tommy owns this company, and I did a lot of photo work for them and travel and just had lots of good times affiliated with them over the years. So this one, it has a lot of sentimental value to me, and it was one of the very first Findlay prototypes I made before I was even considering starting a hat company. I literally just made it for me. And this is another one to that same effect, except this was the very first hat that we were like really trying to prototype with, where we actually put a pocket inside it, and yeah. So yeah, both these hats have seen some stuff in their day, but they, yeah, I like them. Yeah, this is.
But it looks like they both stayed.
Yeah, they both stayed. So, just maybe this one's a little more ready for wearing. Alrighty, so that is, it's a comfy hat. That brings back some nostalgia right there. That is a wrap for just one row of the hundreds of hats we have in the warehouse that have a story. I'm gonna guess I've rambled for 12 minutes. Where are we at, Mo?
15:27.
3 minutes off, you know, that's fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comment below, reach out, email us, email me directly. More than happy to answer any questions about this stuff, or if you want more information about one of your old Findlay hats, If you guys are interested, would love to share more stories about these. We'll see how this video does, because I know 15 minutes is a long time to watch someone talking about hats, but like I said, I could talk about these things all day. I try to cut myself off. That's pretty much it. Thank you for the support, Findlay Forest. Hope you enjoy. Make yourself a great week. Peace.